The year ahead will not just be marked by dates on a calendar, but by decisions that could redefine India's defence might. But a major leap for Operation Sindoor 2.0.
As far as the government is concerned, Operation Sindoor is not yet over. It is just paused. If you want to avoid for war, you have to prepare for the war.
Operation Sindoor was not just a mission, it was a message.
What we have seen in Operation Sindoor, the air defense system is become very important. When our basically missile rockets and drones have gone deep inside Pakistan, their air defense system failed completely. But when their drones, missile rocket came inside India, they could not penetrate our integrated air defense system.
Drones replaced boots on the ground. Electronic warfare decided who sees first and strikes first. The world is rearming. So is India. Ranking alongside US, China and Russia in defense spending, 6.81 lakh crore rupees, that's the size of India's defense check in budget 2025-26, the highest ever. And the Ministry of Defense is clear, security needs more than symbolism. The Defense Acquisition Council, led by Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, is set to meet this week. Big-ticket defense proposals are on the table and major decisions are expected. Embraer-based AEW aircraft for integration with India's indigenous Netra AWACs. Medium-range surface-to-air missiles for the Indian Army. Medium-range surface-to-air missiles for the Indian Navy. Astra Mk2 beyond visual range air-to-air missiles, IF seeking emergency clearance. Replenishment of precision-guided munitions to restock expended stocks. Pinaka extended range rockets. Purchase of 6 mid-air refueler aircraft. Lease of Sea Guardian hail drones as a precursor to larger 31-unit acquisition. Akash family surface-to-air missiles modernization. AI-powered anti-drone defense system. QRSAM highly mobile short-to-medium range air defense systems.
DAC is the highest decision-making body in the country, and most of the procurements that are capital in nature go to the DAC for approvals. Over the last few years, we have seen a gradual shift, a gradual but a very, very pronounced shift towards indigenous acquisitions. Most of the stuff that we are now sourcing is from indigenous people. There are two things that has happened because of this. Firstly, it has empowered indigenous supply chains to kind of gear up, and the Indian vendors to deliver very high quality things which they were always capable of. They just needed this kind of inflection to start delivering. And the second thing, it has also prompted a lot of foreign vendors who were selling stuff in India to start making strategic collaborations within India through way of joint ventures, teaming partnerships and strategic partnerships to bring high class technologies into the country, thereby uplifting the entire level of industry here, and it is also led to a huge spurt in exports.
The focus is on Indigenization, modernization of defense forces with the way we can depend upon Indigenization. Now, as far as the army is concerned, there are a number of things which are online. One is that homegrown air defense system for Delhi and NCR, procurement of about 180 80 to 8,000 to 800 loitering ammunition, basically to improve our drones capability. And then we have to overhaul 200 of T-90 tanks. That's basically which we are looking for army. In addition to that, also Pinaka missile, which normally has a range of 45 to 80 kilometer. We now trying to have Pinaka, which is about the range of 200 kilometer, and it can fire from the same launcher which was used earlier in 45 and 80 kilometer.
Taken together, 2026 is likely to be an year when India's military muscle begins to visibly harden. The skies to the seas to the silent depths beneath them. A wave of firepower is on the horizon. At the heart of the air power push, Tejas Mk1.
One has to understand in the recent conflict, Operation Sindoor, the role and importance of Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force has played a decisive role along with the other two services, that is the Army and Navy. Recently, government has sanctioned around 67,000 crore rupees, roughly it becomes 8 to 9 billion, out of which major chunk, as far as the news is concerned, going to the Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force on one side looking for the procurement of Tejas Mk1 aircraft in a large number. Another side, Indian Air Force require mid-air refuelers as well as certain missile systems which are required for these aircraft or the system existing within the Air Force. We have Su-30s, now we have Rafale along with the other aircraft. All aircraft are capable for the mid-air refueling. So it's a requirement, because once you get the mid-air refueler, the range and capability of these aircraft increases multifold.
After years of waiting, the Indian Air Force is set to receive its first batch, at least 5 jets by the end of the next financial year. A 1.1 lakh crore rupees commitment for 180 indigenous fighters. Early 2026 will see the commissioning of Aridaman, India's third nuclear-powered ballistic missiles submarine. With this, India strengthens its nuclear triad, a club only a handful of global powers belong to. Advanced Project 17A frigates will join the Navy by late 2026. The first locally assembled C-295 transport aircraft rolls out of Baroda. Alongside the next-gen Akash missiles, long-range rockets, ISR drones and loitering munitions built for precision, persistence and pressure. With nearly 60 warships under construction and a clear march towards Atmanirbharta by 2047, India is re-engineering its deterrence.
We find a lot of startups have come into the game, and they have really come up with some very good indigenous products of very high quality and of very critical kind of importance to the battlefield. Simultaneously, the government has encouraged increasing these kind of technological enterprises through various platforms like the Technology Development Funds and the iDEX platform, which is very popular. So when all of this happens, you are able to produce good military products. The Pinaka is a purely designed, developed indigenous weapon system, and it is performed remarkably well. The initial Pinaka that was inducted into the army had a range of about 45 kilometers, the platform is so successful and the technology is so robust that over the years we decided to actually extend this range, and therefore we went through various phases of building up to 70 kilometers and now up to 120 kilometers. This particular thing will give a very big boost to the Indian rocket artillery. Globally, the Pinaka weapon system is such a cost-effective weapon system that a lot of countries have envisaged interest in it, and this could also possibly be a very good product for boosting our exports.
From startups to shipyards, from skies to strike rockets, India's defense story is being rewritten at home.
So I think no country can become a powerful country by importing arms, and therefore Prime Minister Modi's push for Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is absolutely no other sector is as important as defense, because it's a very expensive system. It's all expenditure and we used to buy everything. But now things have changed for last about 10 years. We are not only making for ourselves, though 100% is still some distance away, but we are making whatever is possible, and also we are exporting to our very friendly countries.
First of all, we have to understand the 5th generation or 6th generation. These are the words which very often prevalent in the media and people are using it. It has to be understood in the correct perspective. The capability of aircraft or system as a whole to be considered as far the generation of aircraft is concerned. Indian Air Force along with our HAL and other concern, we are developing the aircraft. Now Tejas Mk2 as well as Mk is under development, and I am sure that in the coming days these aircraft will certainly meet our requirement vis-a-vis to our adversaries.
What began as a push for self-reliance has now become a strategic advantage. As the DAC meets this week, the focus is no longer short-term purchases, but long-term power. The building capabilities, anticipating threats, staying ahead of the curve.